Palestine is a mental health disorder. Being pro-Palestine is a mental health disorder.
Yeah, it's a derangement. It's a derangement.
It is the derangement. It comes from a victimhood mentality. It comes from a mentality of, oh, I lost, now I'm going to cry about it.
Welcome to the show. Why are you an ex-Muslim?
So basically, I read the Quran and I read the Hadiths and I looked at the life of Muhammad. I was born in Iran. I came from a relatively liberal Muslim family, so I wouldn't say they were crazy Muslims, but I just realized that, in my opinion, majority of religions are man-made. I'm very spiritual, I believe in God, but I think Islam is a very militant religion. There's a lot of call to action in Islam, and I think if you want to live a civilized society, then you cannot mix politics and religion together, and especially Islam. Because I think Islam hasn't gone through its own age of renaissance, and it's going through it now. Christianity and Judaism have, but Islam hasn't, and Islam is an existential threat to the West. Feeling
for the Jews today, feeling for our Jewish community, feeling for Jews all over the world today, I think is just a natural human response.
Yeah.
And yet, all across this country, Britain today, we had these demonstrations which were deliberately provocative. Let's do it on October the 7th. Let's rub the Jews' noses in it, shall we?
Yeah.
What is going on there, Younes?
So today I actually went undercover.
You went to one of these?
Yeah, so I went undercover, and basically if people follow me, they would know that I'm more on the side of Israel. And that doesn't mean I don't think like Israel is squeaky clean, but the scale of history points more towards Israel. So I just wanted to go see for myself what is going on in these pro-Palestinian marches, and I obviously had to cover my face because I had a feeling people will recognize me because I've got like more than 100,000 followers online. I did cover my face. I went to the pro-Palestinian marches, and at some point they actually did recognize me, so I had to get out of there because I was thinking, you know, something might happen
They
here.
can get nasty.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I went there and I saw the calls to jihad, the calls, you know, globalize the Antifada. What does globalizing the Antifada mean? It means eradicate Israel. It means eradicate the Jews. That's what globalizing the Antifada means. Don't let anyone else fool you and tell you it means otherwise. When they say river to the sea, that means that they want the whole of Israel
exterminate
to go. Exactly. And I actually managed to interview 2 people, and they both said they do not believe in a 2-state solution. They believe in a 1-state solution, and Israel is the one that has to go. And funnily enough, I had a debate with some guy ages ago. I think his name is Resistance is Beautiful on Instagram. And I had a debate with him. I was like, do you want peace? And he was like, no, I don't want peace. I want justice. And I was like, what's justice to you? Justice, his definition of justice is to eradicate all the Zionists. What is a Zionist? Zionism just means...
I'm a Zionist.
Yeah, I'm a Zionist too. Zionism only means you believe that Israel should have a state.
So have its own state.
Exactly. If Islam and Muslims can have 52 states, then Jewish people should be able to have one.
Yeah, exactly. Now, we've got some footage of you down at the Russell Square, the London protest today. Have a look.
So when you say river to the sea, do you want all of Israel gone? Do you believe in a 2-state solution or a 1-state solution?
I believe in a 1-state solution.
Well, there's a window into the prevalent attitude of these demonstrators. Quite sinister, quite chilling.
Yeah, and look, the problem is I just don't understand, because I was born in Iran under the Islamic Republic, and I saw exactly what the Islamic Republic of Iran done to Iranians and done to our beautiful culture. And I think there is parallels between what happened in the 1970s in Iran and what is happening now. You have these ignorant, imbecile, stupid, uneducated people coming to the streets and siding with jihadis. There was another guy I interviewed, and then he was like, yeah, this was a masterstroke by Hamas.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you know, they actually believe that, and they don't understand that every single Palestinian that dies is the Islamic Republic that's celebrating, it's Hamas that's celebrating. The more you shout intifada and the more you say eradicate the Zionist regime, these people, look, Islamic Republic and Hamas, they sacrifice their own people. That's what happened.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. And there was a woman, one of these protesters, to do with Greta Thunberg, I think she was on social media, talking about Israelis.
Right.
She said they've got faces, they've got arms, they've got hands, but they're not the same as us. They're not human. It is this sort of animalizing of Israeli people by their opponents that I think is so chilling. That the differences, the debate between, shall we say, the Hamas supporters and the Israelis, it's not a civilized debate, is it?
No, and the funny thing is, everything that they say about the Zionists is a projection of themselves. It's they that are genocidal towards the Jews. It's them that try to dehumanize it. Israel is going out of his way to, save civilians in Gaza. It's Hamas that puts them in harm's way, right? I'm not saying there isn't any extremists within the Israeli government. I'm not saying that, okay? But at the end of the day, Israel is a democracy. Israel is where 2 million Muslims live. If they wanted to commit genocide, they could have started with the 2 million living within Israel. Israel could have committed the genocide in 2 hours, okay? Just carpet bomb the whole place.
Yeah, you're right about that, yeah.
Why is it taking 2 years? Yeah, because they're strategic. Only about 70,000 people have died, right? And 40,000 of them are also
It's a lot of people, but
there's a lot of people.
I take your point. Yeah.
But if you put that into consideration, it's only 1% of the population, or even less than. So they dropped more bombs in Gaza than people have died. So they are going out of their way to do strategic strikes. Look at what they done with Hezbollah, with the beepers. Look at what they done to Islamic Republic. How they took out the IRGC members, the nuclear bases and the military bases. Israel has the capacity to commit a genocide in one afternoon. And they also have nuclear bombs. Okay? So they could have easily done it. Yeah.
Good point. Is this what we have to worry about?
Yeah.
That the majority of people in Gaza voted for a Hamas government?
Right. So, and another thing...
That even now, the majority of people in Gaza support Hamas?
Unfortunately, brainwashing and being brainwashed. You should go watch this guy, Musab Hassan Youssef. He was the son of Hamas. I'm sure you know him. And he said that he was so completely radicalized as a kid because you're taught to hate Israel. You're taught to hate America.
That's the point.
Even in Iran.
Visceral for them.
Yeah, visceral. And, if it works in these, and funnily enough, in my opinion, people in Iran are not as extreme as the people here. Like, I cannot believe that you can go to King's College, to London School of Economics, or one of these top universities, and somehow come and chant, death to Israel or death to the Zionist regime. So, which makes me think these people are not educated at all. They're indoctrinated. And I think a lot of Iranians, actually, they support Israel more than they support the Palestinian cause or the Islamic Republic, because they know the truth. The Iranians have suffered for 47 years now, so they saw exactly what Islamic extremism can do. And unfortunately, the students that were born here in this country, they don't know the realities of Islam. There's a reason why their parents left in the first place. So I just think it comes from a place of ignorance. It comes from brainwashing. Qatar is spending a lot of money on TikTok, on Instagram. They're paying influencers. And, if you're a young person, you're always on TikTok, you think, Israel is committing a genocide. And the funny thing is, the so-called Palestinian genocide is the only genocide in history in which the Palestinian population increased.
And also technically and legally, it is not a genocide.
Exactly.
I can understand why people get upset about what's happening, but it is technically and legally not genocide. Do you think, as we speak, there's these talks going on in Egypt between the indirect talks between Hamas and Israel? Already noises are coming out that Hamas are putting their foot down about this, that and the other. Do you think a peace will be achieved, or will Hamas do it again and ruin everything?
To be completely honest with you, I don't think it's a great plan. Why? Because, first of all, a 21-point plan is too complicated. You got all these Arab states involved, which is a good thing, okay? But I think what should happen, and what's funny, in today's protest, people were saying to me, they were saying, Keir Starmer government is bad. So Keir Starmer recognizes Palestine, and they are still against it,
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? So the weaker you are, weaker you are with these jihadis, if you give them an inch, they would want a mile. In my opinion, Israel should have taken over Gaza, and with the help of Americans and with the help of British, with the help of Israelis, with the help of Arab states, de-radicalize, kick out all the Hamas members. So what they're trying to do is to, part of the plan is that all the Hamas members need to leave and they're given amnesty. So, which is a good thing for them. But, as long as we get rid of Hamas. But then, as you said, Hamas has become like a fabric, part of the fabric of Palestinian or Gazan identity. In my opinion, I think the best thing, what should happen is Israel to take over Gaza, take out all the rebels, rebuild, de-radicalize, and they're saying Palestinian Authority might be involved as well. I personally think that's not a good idea either, because they asked for $2 trillion in reparations from the UK government as soon as the Keir Starmer recognized
Palestine. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So let's see how it pans out. To be honest with you, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I just don't think Hamas is going to comply.
I've got my fears and my doubts because if you look at the 20-point plan, Trump's 20-point plan, I mean, I'm sort of all for it in theory. But there's nothing in it for Hamas whatsoever. They're basically being told to put up, shut up, have no part in the future of Gaza in governing and to disarm. Do you think they're going to agree to all of that? I don't think so, do you?
I think apparently they said they will agree, but in practice, as I said, it's a very complicated deal.
Yes,
and usually complicated deals don't go through from personal experience. So it needs to be a simple plan. If they don't comply and if they don't give back the hostages, I don't know, they given 72 hours? And I don't know how much has passed so far, but...
It seems to be a movable feast whenever they go, but they keep saying yes.
I think something will happen, and if it will happen, then Netanyahu has the full backing of America. To go all in. I hope it works because look, I want Palestine.
We all hope.
I want Palestinian people free. I want Gazans free. I don't want a single innocent people to die. But they are dying because of the Islamic Republic, and they're dying because of Hamas, and they're dying because of Islamic extremism. That's the reason they're dying.
There must be people now in Gaza war weary. Absolutely sick of what's been going on for 2 years. Their devotion to Hamas must be fading to some extent.
Yes, it is. But at the end of the day, if you've been radicalized ever since a young age, and if you've had your parents, your brothers, your children dead, and also if you've, been taught that Israel is bad, and also, not knowing any better, they're saying the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. So unfortunately, there is this victimhood mentality within the Middle East that always thinks the foreigners, they don't want the best for us, which is true to some extent because, Britain and America, they've made some mistakes in the Middle East. One of the reasons, like, for example, the Middle East is so destabilized is because of what they've done under President Carter with Iran, how they overthrew the Shah, which had, ended up with a domino effect, the whole Middle East, collapsing.
I don't think Obama was all that great with Iran, gave it too much leeway.
No, of course, but, they caused a revolution. If you look at all the countries around the Middle East, it's fine, it's past now, but I think the West has realized they made a huge mistake, So I think times change, people change, countries, policies change. It's in nobody's interest to have the Islamic Republic there. It's also in nobody's interest to have Hamas there. It's in nobody's interest to have Hezbollah there or the Houthis. So I think Israel is so far winning, but I think fundamentally this deal, it leaves too much grey area, in my opinion. So I don't think it's a great deal.
Last question, Younes. What do you make of the fact that, 2 years ago, after the horror of October the 7th, the slaughter, the massacre of 1,200 innocent Jews, the worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, there was an explosion of Jew hatred in this country.
Right.
And then, in a kind of mirroring of that, last Thursday, there's a synagogue attack, and that triggers all these sudden protests, anti-Israel protests, anti-Jew protests. What is going on in this country that we see atrocities against the Jewish community, and it appears to make us hate Jews even more? What is that all about?
So it's funny because they attack first, and then they play the victim. Okay, every single time since 1948 when Israel was attacked, Israel responds, wins the war, and then has to apologize for winning the war. So for example, in 1948, what happened? All the Arab countries attacked Israel. Israel won. And there's no such thing as Palestine because a quarter would have been given to Egypt, another quarter would have been given to Syria, another quarter would have been given to Libya, and another quarter would have been given me. So there would have been no Palestine. And I said this to some guy today, and then he quite didn't believe me. I was like, but that's a fact, So I think what is happening, and this is exactly now, Palestine is a mental health disorder. Being pro-Palestine is a mental health disorder.
It's a derangement. It's a derangement.
It is the derangement. It comes from a victimhood mentality. It comes from a mentality of, oh, I lost, now I'm going to cry about it. So you're the one that started the war. You're the one that keeps losing. Instead of, back in 2005, when you were given 20 billion by the international community, instead of building tunnels, maybe you could have built skyscrapers like what they've done in Dubai, and you would have had a much more thriving society. So you can't blame the Jews, and you can't blame America.
Interesting. Younes Sadaghiani, thank you for coming in. Really interesting. Good to see you. We're going to go to break now and come back. We'll take some phone calls, read some messages.